So at the time of this recording, it's the middle of the night, but by the time you're going to be seeing this, it's already midday. Of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr., and I want to talk about a little bit of breaking news when it comes to pro wrestling. Just finished watching Friday Night SmackDown, but of course, there was some news that some WWE superstars were being released from their contracts. Superstars such as Cedric Alexander, Blair Davenport, AOP, and Paul Ellering all have been released from their contracts. Now, it's of course that time of the year when you see a lot of these expiring contracts being terminated, but we don't know, as a matter of fact, whether or not these were expiring contracts. But with a lot of superstars being signed to the WWE, there's not enough room for everyone, unfortunately. Now, I look at the list of names that have been released, and it makes perfect sense, right? The people I've named have had little to no exposure on WWE TV. The only exception was Sonya Deville, who was a part of the Pure Fusion Collective. Her, alongside Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, have been a mainstay on the women's division during Monday Night Raw. She was in the Royal Rumble as well, but she was amidst of the list of wrestlers that had been released on Friday evening. But it makes sense to me as to why these individuals had been released. The Authors of Pain haven't really been doing much. They have been with the Final Testament, but now we've seen Karrion Kross kind of being pushed as a single star. We've seen his interactions with Sami Zayn, and because of his interactions with someone like Sami, I think we're now going to see Karrion being moved up the card to a high mid card or possibly even a main event run. I'm a big fan of Karrion Kross's work ever since his stuff in NXT as the champion. But since then, we haven't really seen that same level of production from Karrion Kross, nor a level of investment in his character. Now with AOP gone, I think that's going to be the opportunity for Karrion Kross. Hopefully for the Authors of Pain, they're able to capitalize on the momentum that they've been able to acquire in this second run of the WWE and maybe apply it elsewhere. As for Paul Ellering, I don't see why he wouldn't join them. He's been attached to them ever since their debut in NXT. I think there's a package deal. He's also a Hall of Famer, known for his time with the Legion of Doom. So who wouldn't want that level of expertise and a veteran in their locker as well? I look at someone like Sonya Deville. I think she would be perfect in Total Nonstop Action. That women's division needs a little bit of an increase. They have their work cut out for them, of course, with Masha Slamovich, Ash by Elegance, and company as well. But I definitely think Sonya Deville could definitely benefit from a fresh coat of paint, a new look, a new gimmick maybe, a new scenery. TNA, I think, will probably be her best bet. Hoping for the best for her because she did have a decent run in Absolution, but ever since her feud with Mandy Rose back in 2020, really haven't seen anything from her. So we're hoping for the best for Mandy Rose as well. As for Cedric Alexander, I think we're going to be able to see him in AEW. The Hurt Syndicate has captured the world by storm. They are one of the hottest acts in AEW. Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin could be joined by Cedric Alexander, as they were all a part of the Hurt business in the WWE. One of the best things to come out of the Thunderdome era. Although it wasn't capitalized following the Thunderdome era, I do think it's something we could see in AEW. I'm all for it. I'm a fan of Cedric ever since the 205 Live days, and since then, again, another guy they never really capitalized on. But here's hoping that he's able to capture lightning in a bottle, jump to AEW, and maybe jumpstart his career as well. And finally, that brings me to Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport's departure from the WWE is probably the most sad news coming out of these list of releases because she never really got that opportunity. Aside from having a short-lived feud with Naomi, nothing really prominent ever came out of Blair's run on SmackDown. Her, alongside guys like Dijak, who were in NXT and had a good run there, were called up to the main roster, didn't really have plans for them. I mean, look at Indy Hartwell. She's another one who had a decent run in NXT and got called up without really any plans. I don't know why the WWE does that. I think if anything, if I'm trying to make sense of it, it's one of those things where, hey, we have a lot of talent on the main roster and we need some people who are going to eat these pins. I think that's what Blair Davenport essentially became. It's a shame for her that she never really got a fair shake on the main roster, but it is a nature of the business. Now, where does she go moving forward? I think TNA is probably the best bet. I could see her maybe working with AEW, but personally, I think a Total Nonstop Action will be the move for Blair Davenport, and given their open relationship with the WWE, it could even open a reunion with the WWE for Blair Davenport, of course, and Sonya Deville. as I previously mentioned. But I want to hear from you guys. What were your thoughts on these latest releases that the WWE had announced on Friday night? If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below some of your thoughts and opinions on these superstars. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the pro wrestling content that we produce here on YouTube, including the J Area Wrestling Podcast and the live streams that we do occasionally throughout the week. Of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you for joining me on today's video, and I'll make sure to see you in the next one.